Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, just welcome in general, hon. Today I am doing my top 5 favorite series of all time. I recently did my top 5 standalones of all time, and that video did really well, and a lot of you asked for the series version of that video, so that is what I'm doing today. Now, I am just going to put it out there. I have already spoken about these books, okay? I have mentioned these books so many freaking times in my videos. You're probably sick of it by now, but again, you asked for it, so if you ask for something, I shall give it to you. That's my job on the internet. I have a lot more favorites than what I'm going to show you in this video today, but I wanted to just make it a top 5. And there were a few series that I really wanted to put in this, but then it just wouldn't be a top 5. For example, Gianna Darling's Fallen Men series, like that's one of my favorite series of all time. But I'm not planning on mentioning that in today's video, just because, yeah, there are other series that I like a little bit more than that one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get into it. I haven't filmed in a while and I'm feeling a little bit weird. I'm feeling a little bit fucking weird, alright? And the hair, we just don't talk about it, you know, we just don't talk about the hair these days. Every time I get on camera, I swear I say the hair. And it's true though, because it's just a hot mess. Like, what's going on here? Don't know. This just wouldn't be my video, and it wouldn't be my top favorites if I didn't recommend this book series, Off Balance by Lucia Franco. This is my favorite series of all time. It is my number one. I have so much love for this series. This series honestly holds a part of my heart. Like my heart is captured in between the pages of this book, and I love it so much. I'm obsessed with it. I read this all within a week when I stumbled across this series. And I had no regrets. So this series is very controversial for good reasons. It's about a gymnast and her having a illegal and inappropriate relationship with her coach. Now, obviously this can be a soft subject for a lot of people, but I just want to make it clear that, like, just because you read things like this and may enjoy the book, it doesn't mean that you approve of it in real life. It's very, very easy for me personally to separate fiction from reality, and that's the point of fiction. Fiction is fiction for a reason, hun. We're meant to be able to write what we want, you know, the things that we can't say, the things that we can't feel, the things that we live through, and write about those things through fictional characters. It's a form of art, baby. We're allowed to bend the rules, blur lines. That's the beauty of it. But I know a lot of people don't want to read this or don't have good opinions about it, and that's completely fine. But don't tell me them, because I'm obsessed. I think this is one of the best things I've ever read in my entire life. And that's a big statement to make. That's a huge statement to make. So I show this book series a lot of love on my channel because I do believe Lucia doesn't get enough hype for this series. So book 1 is Balance, and then here are the rest. So then you got Execution, Love, got Release, then there's Twist, and then this is Dismount, which is the last book of the series. Lucia is coming out with a what do you call it? It's like a deleted scenes book related to this series. So the scenes that didn't make it into this series, she's actually compiling together and putting them in a book, which will be super exciting because we can revisit them again and read fresh new content. But I know in Australia these are really, really hard to get. I do want to say that I'm pretty sure Lucia told me that she's working on an online store. So hopefully that will be up and running soon so we can buy paperbacks from her. But I will link down below where to buy these and find the links for you. If they are super expensive, hold off on them. If you are a member of Amazon Prime here in Australia, that should get your books cheaper. But they were very hard to get. I get a lot of questions all the time about where I got them from. These were sent to me. So all of these are actually signed by Lucia because she sent them to me. So yeah, very special to me. Cova and Rhea's relationship is unlike anything I've ever read. It was pure fucking turmoil, man. Like the push and pull between these two characters, them knowing their love was wrong, but it felt so right for them. And it's just filled with so much drama. So much shit goes on, and even the side characters like Rhea's best friend, Cova's girlfriend, like the parents, like there's so much going on in this book series that it will honestly consume you. But I do suggest you don't break the series up. Don't read books in between. Read it from the get-go, start to finish, back to back. I feel like if you read series separate, they don't have the full effect on you. Read it all together, one after another, and experience Cova and Rhea and the beauty of their relationship. It's brilliant. It's my favorite and I love it so much. Next up, we've got the Stay With Me series from Nicole Fiorina. So this here is just magnificent. something I've never read before. It's pure art, pure beauty. I love this series. I do actually have a bookmark right now because I am rereading the series right now. It's my birthday on Saturday. Today is, what's today? Thursday. So I wanted to reread some of my favorite books. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I just wanted to like kind of revisit them this week. So the first one is Stay With Me, and then you've got Even When You're Gone, and then you've got Now Open Your Eyes. Now first off, I love these covers. They're my favorite covers ever. And I really like the style of them. I prefer covers like this, and I just think they, you know, are aesthetically pleasing to look at, and they look beautiful on your bookshelf. So what this series is about, Mia is a very troubled young woman who suffers from some mental illness. She's a bit reckless, she's not in touch with her emotions, she's kind of been neglected by her family, and she kind of just acts out and behaves negatively to get attention. And her parents get to a point where they're like, we don't know what to do with you. And she ends up making a decision to crash her stepmom's BMW into a house, and they end up getting the police involved. So there's a couple options. She can either go to prison, a psych ward, or this like prison reformity school. I think that's what you call them in the UK. So her dad pleads with the judge and ends up sending her there. So she ends up going to this school that is the most coolest aesthetic. Like if you read this book or have read this series, you totally know what I mean. Like the aesthetic of this, it's just brilliant. Something I've never read before. And she ends up going to this school, and Ollie sets his eyes on her. And Ollie is also a very troubled young man who has a very dark past, and he and her fall for each other, but it's very difficult because of their mental illnesses. It's beautiful. Their relationship is beautiful. It is very steamy. All the books that I recommend are steamy. But there's just something so special about Mia and Ollie, because Ollie was different. He was a different type of hero. He was a bit alpha, and he was a bit protective and possessive of Mia, but not to the extent of the other heroes that I usually read. He has more of a softer side, like a kinder heart. And it was just brilliant to read, honestly. It's so good. It's so good. There is a couple of scenes in here that I just want to point out. Like there's one where they take drugs. And I have never read anyone describe drug taking the way that Nicole did. Like when I read that scene in the first book, I felt like I was on drugs, and like I have experience, so I know what it feels like. And I was like, no one describes it properly in books, but Nicole did. Like the way that she wrote it, I was like, yes, that's what it feels like, hun. So if you ever want to fucking know what it feels like to be on Molly or anything like that, read this book. Next up, we have The Elite Kings Club. Now, of course, I was going to recommend this. This is one of my favorite book series ever. Obviously, that's why I'm putting it in the video. And Amo is one of my favorite authors. She's a dark romance author. And this series blew my fucking mind. So the first book you have here is The Silver Swan. So I just want to say now, she wrote this over a 6-year period. And I love the first book, don't get me wrong. It sucked me into the series straight away. But her writing gets better and better each book. And then the last book, which is Santi Diabole Part 2, I don't have the paperback yet, but this is Part 1. Part 2 is one of the best things I've ever read. Like, honestly, it's so good. I know a lot of people read the first 3 books and they get really confused. They don't know what's going on, so they kind of DNF it. Please push through. It all makes sense in the end, trust me. And the beauty of Amo is she purposely puts things in her books to fuck with you. That's the whole beauty of it. That's what she does. That's what she's known for. I have done a whole book video on Amo, like just on her books. So I'll link it on the screen or down below if you want to check that out after this video. But this is about Madison. She ends up moving to a different town because her mother passes away and her father remarries. She's in high school, so this starts off in high school. It doesn't finish in high school, but it starts off in high school. She ends up going to this new school, and she makes a friend, and her friend is taking her on a tour, and she's out in like a courtyard, and she kind of catches the eye of a group of guys, and she asks her friend, like, who are they? Her new friend says to her, like, they're the Elite Kings Club. One of the dudes in the group that really catches her eye, and that's Bishop. And yeah, this is a bully romance to a certain degree. They fuck with her. They really like play with her, toy with her mind. And Nate, who's also a part of the Elite Kings Club, is her stepbrother. It's a complicated series. Like, I can't give it all up just in like one sentence. it starts off like that, but it ends up being so much more. So this is very much a different world. It's not fantasy, but it's set in our world, but a different version of our world where there's kind of like cults. It's really hard to explain. It's like a cult cross mafia, cross like secret society. It's so good. But yeah, I know a lot of people have said like they couldn't finish it. They were so confused. They were this and that. But trust me, man, just keep on going, bitch. Keep on going. And it will change your life. It will change your life. So this is the Born in Blood Mafia Chronicles, which is one of my favorites ever. You know, I've got all the books here. So this is by Cora Reilly. I've done a book video all about Cora Reilly as well. So if you are interested in watching that, I'll link it down below Amo's video. Just so I don't have to ramble on in this video too much because, as I said, I've recommended these already. So the first one is Bound by Honor. So this series is a companion novel series that has 8 books. So Bound by Honor is Luca and Aria. Aria is from Chicago. Her father is in the mafia. Chicago and New York have been at war with one another for a while, and to kind of tame the war down and shake hands and kind of move on, they decided to set up a arranged marriage between Aria in Chicago and Luca, who is the son of the capo in New York. So that's where the book starts. Luca is known to be like this crazy, very dangerous, very scary man, and Aria is a mafia princess who has been sheltered her whole entire life. She knows her duties. Each book is about a different couple, but the story kind of intertwines, and I just haven't come across a mafia world like this. I love Danielle Laurie's series, but there's just something about Cora. Like, man, there's just something about her writing. There's something about the worlds that she creates, the characters she creates. Like, I love every book. I love every couple. When I read this series, I read them all back to back, and I was just so involved, man. Like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't want to leave the world ever. And that's another thing that I suggest with all these books, because they're series. Don't separate the books. Don't break up the books. Read them all, one after another. That's when you feel the full impact of the story, and you really get like sucked into it, and you feel like you're a part of the story, which is what I love. But yes, I also love the Cora Chronicles, but I don't have the paperbacks for that. So yeah, I'm just gonna include that in the Born in Blood, even though it's a complete separate series. It's a spin-off series from this. But pretty much just one big series, okay? Stop it. And the lucky last series I want to talk about is the Voya series by Fiona Nicole. So this is again a companion novel series, and it's something so unique and so different, and I love it so much because it has like that taboo aspect to every single book. So the first one here is Voya. So this is about a student-teacher relationship. So it's about this girl who gets this job at like this sex club because she needs money to pay for her college fees, and she ends up getting viewed quite a few times by a certain guy, and this guy becomes like obsessed with her, and he's fascinated by her. They end up figuring out that he is her professor. Yeah. So this sex club, how do I explain it? It's kind of like, I don't know, like a viewing room. Like, it's a secret type of club you have to pay a membership for. You go there and there's different rooms where people perform different kinks. You get to choose what kink you want to see, and then you get to go view it getting performed in front of you. It's kind of like live porn. So the first one is a student teacher. Yep, that's where it starts. I'm missing one of the books. I'm missing one of them. I think it's called Lovers. But yeah, and then you've got Savior as well. So this one has like a bit of human trafficking in it. And then we've got another, which is my favorite book out of the entire series, but I don't want to give away why, so I'm not going to say anything about it. We've got Liar, which is a super popular book in the series. This is an age gap. This young girl here falls for her uncle's best friend, who is an owner of the club. So yes, the club is very much involved in this story, but not everyone works at the club, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of, everyone has connections to the club. And then we've got Teacher, which is another one of my favorites. I love Lovers as well. That's a male-female book. That's really good. But this one's good as well. Again, like human trafficking's involved. this guy is the owner of the club. He ends up helping this girl get in touch with her sexuality after her trauma. I love this series. It's what introduced me to Fiona Nicole, and I'm reading her new series now, which I really enjoy, but there's just something about the Voyeur series that no one can tell me otherwise, man. Like, I just think it's brilliant. I chewed through these. I love them so much. I love the size of them. Like, they're good sized books. I feel like some books are just way too fucking big, and I'm like, bitch, I don't have time for that. This is a perfect size. Okay, so that's it for today's video. That's all for my favorite series. I'm sorry I'm a little bit flat today. I'm really like, I don't know. I'm feeling flat as fuck. I don't know why. I think it's because it's my birthday this week, and usually I don't enjoy my birthday. But that's probably why. And I'm just feeling a little bit, yeah, low and flat. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, thumbs it up. Let me know in the comments below your top 5 favorite series. I want to see them. I want to read them if I haven't already. So please fill the comments with your recommendations. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.